The constitutional crisis is here. And we saw it take place inside the Oval Office in a meeting between Donald Trump and the president of El Salvador. Here's the president of El Salvador saying that he will not return a man named Kilmar Abrego Garcia, wrongfully sent out of the United States in violation of a court order.
Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposedly not suggesting that I'll smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
how can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous.
That's right. He says it's preposterous to suggest that he could return a man that was wrongfully sent to his country and is now languishing in a maximum security prison. But more important than what Mr. Bukele said is what Donald Trump said. Here's Donald Trump in that meeting.
Yeah, I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns, you got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah.
So that's right. There's Donald Trump saying, we want to send you more people. In fact, we want to send you homegrown people. We want to send you American citizens for you to imprison in maximum security prison in El Salvador. So why is this a constitutional crisis? It is a constitutional crisis because the administration is under a court order to return this wrongfully deported man to the United States, to facilitate his return. And far from taking any step to facilitate his return, in that meeting in the White House, Donald Trump essentially told the Supreme Court to pound sand. Because far from what he says is what he doesn't say. And that is nowhere in that entire meeting does the President of the United States ask the President of El Salvador to return the man wrongly sent to a maximum security prison in his country. It just never happens. So let me give you a quick nutshell on this case. Let me give you a quick reminder of what this case is about. So the administration grabs this guy off the street, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He is from El Salvador originally. He came to this country illegally, but a court found that if he were returned, he might be the victim of gang violence. So there was a temporary order not to deport him. In violation of that order, they deported him anyway. The Trump administration has said this was a mistake. They called it a clerical error, as if they were ordering too many staples. But they've acknowledged that this was a mistake and illegal. Nevertheless, you have some administration figures even today lying about it. Here's Stephen Miller.
He was not, no, Bill's important. He was not mistakenly sent to El Salvador.
Okay, so do you still
He's
believe
an illegal
he is a
alien
member of
from
MS?
El Salvador?
But that's just wrong. Some of the highest lawyers in the Justice Department have acknowledged to the court they illegally sent this person out of the country by error. So the district court in this case said you need to rectify this by facilitating and effectuating his return. The Justice Department appeals that all the way to the Supreme Court, saying we have no such obligation. This is the president's sole power to conduct foreign policy. We don't control what El Salvador's, we're powerless. And what's more, we're not even going to tell you about these negotiations with El Salvador because they're covered by state secrets. The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 opinion, says that the lower court was right to order the administration to facilitate his return. But it's unclear what the district court meant about effectuate. And the Supreme Court says we're sending it back to the district court to decide how to effectuate this, given that the court can't trample the administration's power over foreign policy. Now, in that Supreme Court opinion, Justice Sotomayor, writing for others in a concurring opinion, pointed out that the logic of the government's position is that they can send anyone out of the country to a maximum security prison, including American citizens, and claim they have no power to rectify the situation as long as they send them out of the country before a court can review the matter. If we go down that road, it is the road to tyranny. Without a doubt, it is the road to tyranny. So now the case is back with the lower court. And the lower court has the evidence of this White House meeting. It has the evidence of Donald Trump failing to even request the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, I can't tell you what effectuate means and where effectuate runs into the president's power of foreign policy. But one thing is abundantly clear, and that is there was no effort made to facilitate Garcia's return, not even a request to return Garcia. And that is in patent violation of court order. Now, I imagine the district court will rule once again and impose some burden on the government once again, and the government will once again appeal to the Supreme Court. What the court does, it is hard to say. Undoubtedly, Justice Roberts will want to avoid a direct confrontation with the president, and I suspect will find some face-saving way for the court to pretend that Donald Trump is not simply and blatantly violating court orders, even though he is. But whatever the Supreme Court does, one thing is all too clear from this White House meeting. The president has taken no steps to facilitate the return of Mr. Garcia, not the return of this husband to his wife, not the return of this father to his son, but the president has taken a very determined step towards dictatorship.